so I'm getting unready for the day, but I have to address some things. Some more race lies. So, many of you probably recall her saying that she used drugs from 14 to 15, but she wasn't an addict, according to Tommy. She just abused, misused methamphetamine, right? And then tonight, this evening, she said she's telling the story of how she got on drugs, which I had never heard before, but whatever. Mind you, she left the Scientology, or whatever you want to call it, at 16, right? When she got smacked upside the head with a fax machine. Hold on a second, let me rinse my face. Okay, so, I'm sorry, hold on. I do a little dermaplaning here. Anywho, so she starts telling the story of how her, I guess, older stepsister from her father's third or fourth marriage, maybe it was the second, I don't know, was the one that got her hooked on meth, right? Okay, that's feasible, it's possible. I mean, usually someone turns an addict on to something, they don't usually stumble upon it on their own, at least not hard drugs. But then she says that she started using at 14 until she was 18 or 19. And then her and her mom got a small place together, and she was clean until her stepsister decided that she wanted to pick her up and hang out. And her being so naive, didn't think anything of it, even though she knew she was a hardcore junkie, the stepsister. So they ended up drove them to across state lines, right, to some popular drug area, and ended up, I'm assuming she must have had her at gunpoint as she was driving across state lines to this well-known drug spot and into the trap house, right? Had to be, because she was so naive, right? And I'm not sure, but I'm assuming this was after the age of 19, because she admitted to using until 18 or 19, even though it was only 14 to 15 first, and then 14 to 16, while she was still at the org. Anywho, she didn't know what she was smoking, and she was being forced to smoke whatever it was on foil, because her stepsister said, everyone here thinks you're a cop. You gotta do it. You gotta prove yourself. Now, I find that hard to believe, because surely she had a cell phone or some kind of way to call mommy to come and pick her up. Well, stepsister threatened her that she can't tell anybody anything. Well, because she was so sick when she finally got home and so out of sorts, she ran into the neighbor's porch. Okay. None of this, of course, is her fault. None of it. You know, she was turned on to drugs by someone older than her that she trusted and loved. And, of course, the ages change. And meanwhile, you know, I don't usually even watch her stuff anymore, but I was commenting throughout the stream, a little bit behind, but firstly about how she should have kept her big mouth shut after Tommy warned her about calling men, especially men that looked like this guy, B words and, you know, punks and things of that nature. But yet she feels it's the fault of the guy, the fault of the lady running the car wash. She should have done something. She should have called the cops. She should have done this. She should have done that. What's wrong with the world? The world is a mess. I'm not going to lie about that. But why is it always somebody else's fault? It's not her fault that she abused drugs, but wasn't an addict. And then, you know, it got me thinking about how she said in the stream where she outed Tommy that Tommy brought out a big bag of white powder, right? And she said, get that out of here. Maybe they were using it together. Then before I ended watching the stream, because I just couldn't take it anymore, the narcissism, she said that as much as she loves her stepsister, the addict, the one that turned her onto drugs, she would never bring her around, because even if she wasn't using, because she has to protect Huxley. But she brought Tommy into the house, a convicted rapist, schmex offender, bank robber, and drug user, and who knows what else, right? So that was okay. I don't know. I've had enough. It makes me sick.